welcome back to Happy Apple Core Homestead. Today I'm going to teach you how to make shower steamers, or you can also use them as bath bombs. And you may be asking, well, what's the difference between a shower steamer and a bath bomb? And the answer is, well, the simple answer is that there are typically more essential oils in a shower steamer to release that aromatherapy. However, the ones that I make, I never go above 3%. 3% essential oils is safe both for your lungs and your skin. So that way you can use my shower steamers as a bath bomb as well if you want to. Also, some people put fun things like larger pieces of glitter or little flower bits and things like that into a bath bomb. I'm not really sure how that makes it any better because eventually it all goes down the drain. This recipe that I have here, I designed and created both with my health in mind as well as my septic system. So what I have here is safe for your septic. You will notice I'm using castor oil. A lot of recipes that you find call for coconut oil or polysorbate 80. Coconut oil is good for your skin and I don't think it's really going to hurt your septic tank at all, but I don't find that it binds the way that I want it to. I like something that stays a little bit more viscous. So polysorbate 80, let's talk about that for just a quick second. I don't trust it. You may, and it's less expensive than, organic castor oil. But I choose not to use it, so I just recommend that if you're going to make your own at home, that you do your research, especially if you're going to be selling them as some kind of, great thing for your body. Make sure you do your research on the pros and cons of polysorbate 80. I know you guys, I know the FDA's approved it for cosmetics and food even, which blows my mind. But anyways, castor oil. We're not going to be eating these. Castor oil is amazing for your skin. It is not going to hurt your septic system. The only caveat to using the castor oil as opposed to polysorbate 80 is the castor oil is quite a bit thicker. A polysorbate 80 is a little bit more of a thinner oil. It's going to go down the drain a little bit easier. It's still slippy, but the castor oil tends to stick to your shower pan or your tub a little bit more. So I always recommend to my customers who like to buy my shower steamers is to just set it off to the side, not directly under your feet. And just be careful with it either which way. If you're putting anything, whether it's a bath bomb made of coconut oil or polysorbate 80 or castor oil, it is going to be a little bit slippy and we don't want to have accidents in the shower or the tub, right? So just be careful of that. The other thing you're going to need is a colorant of some kind. I have a mica powder here and I really like it, but it is kind of glittery, a very super fine glitter. It's not going to hurt your septic, but you might not want to breathe it in and you might not want to use it at all. So for those of you who are looking for a more natural colorant, I recommend turmeric or beetroot, carrot, something like that where you dehydrate it, grind it into a powder, and then it can color your bath bombs or your shower steamers beautifully. Of course, you're going to want essential oil. For a shower steamer, the aromatherapy is the point of the point. For a bath bomb, it can be other ingredients to nourish your skin, but for a shower steamer, the essential oils are key. So you're going to want to make sure you have your favorite essential oils. Something else that I promise is very helpful is a silicone mold. A little bit of word of advice on silicone molds. These are amazing. I love them. The details are not so intricate that they don't show up later. They show up beautifully. The more detailed the design, the more difficult, and sometimes they crack or fall out. So a kind of a design that has a little bit of a wide space in between each other is good. I tried this with a moon press. Moon presses I found to be way too intricate in design to make a really good shower steamer or bath bomb. You're going to want some rubber gloves. Well, I want some rubber gloves. It's kind of up to you. There's nothing in here that's going to innately hurt you or your skin, but it's wintertime right now. and my skin is kind of cracked. I have really fragile skin, and when it gets cold and dry out, my skin tends to crack. So I'm gonna wear gloves. And then also, a lot of people are going to recommend that you wear an N95 mask to keep the mica powder out of your lungs. So when it's just free floating in the air, it can get in and cause a little bit of bronchial distress. In the shower steamer, it's captured by the castor oil, so it's not like floating up in the air. So you don't need to worry about, you know, those things getting into your lungs and causing you distress in a shower or in a bath. But while you're making it, and while everything is floating in the air, you might want to consider it. Sometimes I wear it and sometimes I don't, kind of depends. I've got asthma, so I try to be a little bit more gentle with my lungs when I can. So maybe I'll wear it today and maybe I won't. We'll see. All right, that is it for the ingredients, and you're gonna want a bowl for mixing, and the dry ingredients and the wet ingredients are mixed separately. So I've got a little plastic container here, and then I have a craft stick to mix the castor oil and the essential oils. Let's get started. We are gonna start with the dry ingredients. We need 2 cups each of citric acid and baking soda. Some recipes you may find out there in the interwebs will recommend that you sift your citric acid and your baking soda so that all of the little lumps and clumps come out, but that's not going to be necessary. We're going to break them up when we dig our hands into it. Now let's move on to the castor oil or polysorbate 80 or whatever it is you're using for this recipe. We're going to need 6 tablespoons. Next, we'll add the essential oils. The essential oils that you add are completely up to you, whatever smells lovely or has some kind of a health benefit that you're looking for. If you're wanting to do a 3% concentration of essential oils for your recipe, you can use 18 drops per ounce of all of the material that you have. So for this particular recipe, that could be up to 600 drops of essential oil. Now for me, I'm making a particular recipe that I sell in my Etsy shop. If you're interested, you can go down to the description and check out my shop. I sell my bath bombs and shower steamers for only $5, you guys. If you don't want to make your own, you just want to pick one up and give it as a gift or just enjoy yourself, grab it down there in the description box from my shop. This recipe, I'm only using 400 drops. It's a little bit less, but for this particular one, I'm making an anxiety shower steamer. It doesn't need to be overpowering. The aromatherapy should be gentle and kind, and all of my customers absolutely love my anxiety shower steamer and say that it is spot on with the scent. So I'm not gonna overdo it with this one. I do have a Breathe shower steamer, which is more for decongestion, and that one has a lot more essential oils in it. So I go all the way up to the top of the 3% line for that one because we're really looking to kind of clear the passageways. But for anxiety, which is what I'm making today because I ran out, this one is much more gentle and much more calm, and so it's not so pungent that it kind of like, whoo, hit you in the face. It just more soothes the soul, and you can smell it and it's lovely, but it's not overpowering. Let's add those now. Once you have your essential oils into your castor oil, give that a really good thorough stir. Then we'll set it aside, and we're going to add the mica powder to the dry ingredients. For this one, I'm using a lemon yellow. I usually use bright yellow or bright golden yellow for my anti-anxiety shower steamer, but this one is going to be really pretty too, and I don't use very much. For anxiety, I just want things to be calm and gentle, so nothing like super strong colored or super strong smelling. So we're gonna do 1 capful and see how it looks. Gonna go ahead and put my gloves on to protect the cracks in my hands, and we're gonna mix this up really nice. The color that you see in this mixture here with the dry, it is not what it's gonna look like in the end. So if you pour some mica powder in and you're like, oh my gosh, it looks like I didn't even put anything in there. You did, and once you put the castor oil and the essential oils in, you will be able to see how it really changes the color. While you're mixing this up, make sure you break up any of the little hard chunks of citric acid and baking soda. You probably can't see it in the video, but I can see the mica powder like flowing all over the place right now. I'm gonna be covered in glitter later, you guys. Also, I'm breathing it in. So keep in mind the N95 mask does work pretty well. Some of it does get through. It's not perfect, but it'll keep the majority out, especially if you're doing, I definitely wear the mask if I'm doing a huge batch where I'm making 100 of these in one day. I'll wear the mask, but today I'm just making these with you guys. Okay, I'm gonna show you a close-up of what this looks like so you can see the color and how it changes. Okay, so I'm gonna take my gloves off. Keep your gloves for later. You're gonna want them when you get into the castor oil because castor oil is a little bit hard to wash off. Okay, here is the very gentle yellow. And I'll show you again what it looks like after we mix in the other ingredients. Now it's time to add the essential oils and the castor oil. And dig in. You want this to be fully incorporated so everything feels like wet sand with no big clumps of either wet or dry material. Keep in mind that this recipe has come from lots of experimentation, and I know that this exact recipe, the way that I'm telling you how to do it, is going to set up and cure perfectly. If you put a little extra of something else in or a little bit less of something else, it might not set the way that you're going to see it set here. So if you can, try to stay as close to the recipe as possible. Can't tell you how many times I made these, you guys, trying to get the perfect ratio. Okay, this is mixed beautifully. I have a little bit of mica powder in my nose, so I'm gonna go blow my nose and then I'll show you up close what this looks like and the beautiful color that we've created, and then we'll put them in the molds. Okay, you guys, look at that beautiful butter color. I love it and I'm super happy with it. What did you guys think of that color? Do you like it? It's so pretty and it smells divine. The last step in this process is to grab your silicone molds, and you're going to pick up little bits of this here and just pop it right into your molds. And don't fill the whole thing right away. So do a layer on the bottom and press it down really nice and firmly all the way to the edges and the corners, and build up as you go. I also recommend, if you have, you know, 4, like this mold has 4 different ones in it, go ahead and do each one that first layer, because they can tend to bulge out a little bit, which is fine. It just won't be as square. Once you take it out of the mold, it'll be a little bit bulgy on the sides, which is fine. Just looks a little different. But I like to make them as uniform as possible and press them down, and I do 1 layer down here near the bottom on all 4 molds. And you do want to press down firmly and evenly. If you leave any open spaces for air, those are going to crack later. So take your time in this part of the process. Because I make jumbo shower steamers and bath bombs, I make sure to fill these all the way to the very tippy top. Compacting these steamers is the best way to ensure that you have a really nice final product that doesn't either fall apart in the packaging, break up in shipping, or dissolve in 2 seconds. Now, these are going to dissolve quickly. They are designed to. So it's not something that you can use multiple times, right? Like soap. It's not like soap. It is going to dissolve within, I would say, 5 minutes or so. If you put it in your bath, it's going to dissolve a lot faster, but in the shower, it's probably about 5 minutes. And so you don't want to put it in your shower before you get in. I mean, I wouldn't, because unless I'm standing right there and I can like enjoy the benefits of the aromatherapy. For a nice flat surface, make sure to rub it gently and press in. You don't want any little concaves or anything like that. You want it to be nice and flat and beautiful. If you're noticing that your mold is bulging out, you can go ahead and press it in, press in the side while pressing down on the top. I'm going to finish using up what I have and we'll get right back to you. And here is what they look like. This recipe makes 6 of these jumbo shower steamers. All that's left to do now is let these cure until they are dry. That can take either 24 or 48 hours, kind of depending on how wet or dry your atmosphere is. But I am not going to make you wait until tomorrow to see how these turn out. I have some already done and I'll show you exactly what they look like even out of these molds. Here is an example of the shower steamers that I sell. Again, remember you can use them as bath bombs too. The concentration is not too high for that. I just use a simple plastic bag with a nice label that I created on Avery.com. I do recommend a couple of things. If you're going to make these as gifts or like take them to a bazaar or a farmer's market, I recommend that you invest in some bags that keep the scents in. These plastic bags do not. I have noticed that the essential oils do not completely evaporate out. They are captured in here beautifully, but people can smell them when you walk by. So if you're taking these to a place where there might be, people with odor sensitivity or whatever, you just might want to consider getting a better quality bag. This is the one that I use, works great for me. And on my labels, I just put the instructions and all of the ingredients that are inside. And I'll take this out and show you what it looks like outside of the mold. Once it comes out of the mold, it looks just like this. And it's pretty stable. You'll get some flakes on you, but it is really strong and sturdy and will last a few minutes in the bath or the shower. As I am storing these, I do also use a desiccant package on the inside of the bag just to prevent any leakage of the castor oil. And this, my friends, is how you make shower steamers and bath bombs my way. I hope you love this recipe. I hope you will try to make them at home. It is something that you can do yourself. I totally believe in you. If you do not have time to fuss with this project and you want to buy your own, like I said earlier, head down to my Etsy shop in the description box and grab some for you and your best friends today. I will see you guys soon. Bye!